my dining room tonight, and you worked today in class on what dividing a decimal by a whole number and a decimal by a decimal looks like. What we're going to work on tonight is simply dividing a decimal by a whole number with the algorithm. So I took the notes for you. I would like you to read through them with me, so they should be in front of you right now. So take a minute and look at them. And if you look, it says, set up the problem in the house. Estimate to see what your quotient should be close to. Create a top-bottom chart if you need it. Draw in faint lines to hold your place value. Bring your decimal straight up, because you really have to hold that decimal. You know it's all about the decimal. Divide, being very careful to hold your place value. Those are what the place value lines are for. And step 7 is going to be a little bit different for y'all. There's no remainders in division because you're working with a part of a part, so there's no whole number remainder. So what you do is you always work out, you annex zeros until you can work out to the thousandths place, and then you round to the hundredths place. And I'm going to show you what that looks like on the second example. I think on the first example, we actually go, it goes in evenly. And then you can multiply to check. When you check and you've rounded, your answer is going to be almost the same, but not quite. Let's see what that looks like. If you look, your first example is 45 and 32 hundredths divided by 6. Before I put it in the house, I'm going to estimate, just because for me it's easier to estimate when it's horizontal. So I'm going to look at my 6, and 6 does not go into 4, but it does go into 45. 45, my dividend is bigger than my divisor, so my answer is probably going to be a whole number, or a mixed number, a whole number and a decimal. The closest multiple I can think of is 42, so it's 7. So my answer should be somewhere around 7. Then I'm going to follow the rest of the steps. I'm going to put my problem, oops, and I just wrote my problem wrong. Don't do what I'm doing. It's 45 and 32 hundredths divided by 6. All right, now with my 6s, I don't need a top-bottom chart because I'm very good with my 6s, so I'm not going to bother to do that. I am going to draw in faint lines to hold my place value. So if you see, I'm just drawing in really faint lines to hold my place value when I figure out my answer or my quotient. All right, if you look at step 5, it says bring the decimal straight up. Well, it's on a place value line, so you just bring it straight up. All right, that's what I'm going to need to work with. Now I need to divide. Well, as long as I divide slowly and meticulously, I know I'll get it right. 6 does not go into 4. 6 does go into 45. The closest multiple without going over is 7. 7 times 6 is 42. Subtract. You get 3. Now I don't have to worry about the decimal point anymore because I already brought it up, so I don't have to worry about it in the problem. So I'm going to cross out the 3 and bring it down. 6 goes into 33, closest without going over, 5 times. Now notice how I'm putting that 5 directly above the 3, and it's behind my decimal point. 5 times 6 is 30. Subtract. I get 3. And I'm going to bring down my 2. All right. 6 goes into 32. Once again, 5 times. All right, so this wasn't even. I thought it was. All right. And that gives me 30 again. 2. Now, I can't put a remainder 2. I can't do it because it's not really 2. It's 2 thousandths. So what I need to do is I need to look, and I'm going to annex a 0 because I want to go up to the thousandths place, and then I'm going to round to the hundredths. So I can annex a 0 because it's an equivalent decimal. 6 goes into 20 about 3 times. All right, I don't have to really do the subtraction right now because I really just needed to get it out to thousandths. Because now if I look at my thousandths, I can look, I'm going to round it to the hundredths. And if you look, it's going to stay a 5. It's not going to go up to a 6. So my actual quotient is 7 and 55 hundredths. It's not exact, so I guess I would need to use the approximate because I did round to the nearest thousand. Now, if you look at the last step, you're going to multiply to check. So I'm going to take 7 and 55 hundredths times 6, and let's hope my answer is something close to this. 6 times 5 is 30, carry the 3. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 3 is 33, carry the 3. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 3 is 45. And I need 1, 2. Now it's close, all right? And if you look, the 2 is probably what I would have had as a remainder, so I'm pretty good there. Not bad. Easy? Let's try it with a little bit of a harder one with a double digit divisor. Now if you look, I am going to estimate first, just because it makes it easier. So I'm looking at my 31, and I'm thinking, it doesn't go into 3, but it does go into 32. Oh, because this is, by the way, 3 and 289 thousandths divided by 31. 3 goes into 32, or 31 goes into 32. I could make a compatible number of 30 and 30, or 31 and 31. About one time, but I need to make sure I bring that decimal down. So my answer should be somewhere around 1/10. So if it's bigger than that, I'm in trouble. So now I'm going to write it in the house. I'm going to move this over so I can reach. And I've got 3 289 thousandths divided by 31. All right? If you look, I did need a top-bottom chart for this. I don't know my 31s. I gave it to you guys too. Wasn't that nice of me? And it's right here on the side of your sheet. So you've got that to work with. And I hope I didn't make a silly mistake. I'm going to draw in my faint place value lines. And I'm going to bring my decimal up. And now I'm ready to divide. 31 does not go into 3. 31 does go into 32. If I look at my top-bottom chart, my closest number is 31, so I'm going to put a 1 on top, 31 on the bottom, 32 minus 31 is 1, and I'm going to bring down my 18. Now because I brought down, I have to divide into. Well, 31 does not fit into 18, but I can't just bring the next number down. I have to hold my place value. So I'm going to put a 0 here. I can then do the whole rigmarole where I go 0 times 31 is 0, 18, or I could have just brought the 9 down. You got to do what works for you. 31 goes into 189. If I look at my top-bottom chart, 6 times. All right, and 6 times 31 is 186. Subtract equals 3. Now I don't have a remainder, and I have to work out to my thousandths place, but guess what? I'm already there. That's kind of nice. So if I'm going to round to the hundredths place, which is what I've asked you to do, I could look at that. Actually, you know what? Let's do something different this time. Since we worked out to the thousandths place, let's go one more and we can round to the thousandths place, just for giggles. All right, so let me bring down that 0. $31 does not fit into 30, so it goes in 0 time. It'll be 0, subtract equals 30. So now, even if I run out to my thousandths place, it's still going to be 106 thousandths, because that 0 would not change that value. I need to multiply to check. 106 thousandths times 3, hoping I get close to 3 and 289 thousandths. 3 times 6 is 18, carry the 1. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. And 3 times 1 is 3. If you look, that's pretty close. I think I could take that, especially because we had such a big number left over. All right, good luck. The estimating or the multiplying to check is a little bit harder on this, but I think you can do it. On the back, you have your 4 guided practice problems. You need to work through those, and then I will post the answers to Edmodo, and you can check them there. Work slowly, work meticulously, follow all the steps. All right, bye.